Yeah, the Chinese Grand Prix. Again, we're starting the year with Otilo again. It's gone. It's really gone. Red Bull has started it's gone again with Max Verstappen. Like I said, they've had the best car, the best in all angles, and they came out not short today. The only reason why Red Bull would have come out short today is if they have had an engine blown on a tire issue or whatever, but they never had that. They were just on point with strategy, with everything. It was good for them. And for Ferrari, we hope they would have a very good day, but they're having understeer on their car. They had good tire management, don't miss that, but the understeer on the Ferrari in China cost them a lot of time, especially in sector 1, and that is where they are losing more time. We need to be sincere with ourselves. These teams are working out. And let me release this. Mercedes said at the end of the race they are coming with upgrades in Miami. I don't see the upgrades Mercedes are coming up with that would take them out of that 4th position or 5th position. Seriously. I don't see them chasing down McLaren or Ferrari this season. And if you don't see Mercedes chasing down McLaren Ferrari this season, you don't even see them smelling any win. Because this W15 looks way worse. If they had released W15 in 2022, now they might be upgrading it and the car might look better in 2024. But how the car look way worse? They just got into the regulation. The car look way worse. Way worse. Let's go dive right into the race. The race was filled with so many emotions. Aside from Max Verstappen nicking every time he gets in front, it's just gone. It's just gone. He's been used to COVID, so he loves creating social distance in 2024. And in every race, he had created social distance that is far way higher than the past years. He might not have created the 30 seconds or a whole 1 minute, but the social distance he had created in 4 races this year that he had really competed and won are much more, way much more than we could say. He has created the long, if not for the safety car twice today, the social distance would have been much, way more that I believe they won't need nose mask and gloves. No, it's just free. Free. So on turn 1, he got a very decent pace out of his teammate, and that is it. It was gone. Fernando Alonso was able to nick Sergio Perez in turn 1. By turn 2, he was ahead, and Sergio Perez struggled to get him. He got him back. Tire changes. A lot of things happened. So funny. It affected Sergio Perez, an entire change, and they got it wrong with a tire change for Sergio Perez, and the McLaren and Ferrari were ahead of him, in which he was able to get the Ferrari, but the McLaren no. But decent race for them. Logan Sargent getting 10 seconds penalty, Lance Stroll getting 10 seconds, forcing another driver out, Daniel Ricciardo out of the race, Bottas out of the race, Yuki Tsunoda out of the race. Now Bottas are out of the race because of an engine issue, Tsunoda out of the race because of a fault that is not his own. That was because of Kevin Magnussen that bantered and bruised him out. Daniel Ricciardo also bruised out by Lance Stroll on a restart. That caused another restart. But seriously, I'll just talk about the drivers that got the race right and nicked it in time. George Russell didn't really do much because the race was not his. It was not to compete with Ferrari or anybody. Yeah, George Russell was not to compete with Ferrari or anybody. The Ferrari are having a better pace than him. He was only able to come 6th. That's the best he could have done. Aside from that, he has nothing doing coming 6th. He struggled behind Carlos Sainz, and the 6th he got was because Alonso had a bad tire decision. They gave him a soft tire and he had to change again. Aside from that, he would have come 7th. Piastri had a bad race, culminated with his damage, so which means Russell could have come 8th, right ahead of his teammate Lewis Hamilton. So the W15, George Russell, not a really good race for him, but he was lucky, got that. But to Lando Norris, great race, starting 4th and finishing 2nd. He was able to manage the tires, he was able to stay ahead of Perez, while Charles Leclerc really helped him. And I'll tell you, Charles Leclerc really helped Lando Norris. How the 5 to 6 lap battle that Sergio Perez had with Charles Leclerc favored Lando Norris. Lando Norris was saving his tire while Perez was depleted his tires in the battle with Charles Leclerc. By the time he got ahead, he was unable to catch up with Lando Norris, and that was the end of his race. He came 3rd. Lando Norris, beautiful race. He said they were challenging the Red Bull, not just the Red Bull. He said he wants to challenge Max Verstappen in the race. Was unable to challenge Max Verstappen. He was able to put Sergio Perez behind him, which is great for him. Good race, wonderful race. Charles Leclerc, beautiful race for the Ferrari. The Ferrari started 6th and 7th, just ahead of George Russell, and they ended 4th and 5th. That was a beautiful race for them. I thought they would have been in contention for a podium, but good race for Charles Leclerc. Tire management on point, so also Carlos Sainz, and he was able to battle Lando Norris. He was able to do some great battles, even with Alonso and George Russell. He excelled in some battles. He lost in a few, and he did a good race. which shows the upgrades they are bringing, they might get very, very close to the Red Bull, because the Red Bull in the race condition, they're having about 6/10 for the Red Bull, but for Max Verstappen is having close to 9/10 to every driver. But with the upgrade they are bringing, if it works well, they might be getting about 5/10 out of that, which will take them very close to Red Bull, very close to Red Bull. The McLaren too are bringing upgrades, so we hope the competition get tougher up there and very tough up there. Sainz, since yesterday's battle, he's not really feeling cool with battles, so he never had real battles today, just some few, but a great race for him from 7th to 5th, perfect race for him. He was not lucky getting that position. I am sure they would have gotten past Alonso one way or the other. On any tire Alonso would have been on, they would have gotten past him. So it's a great race for them. Alonso, great race, but he lost position because of a bad decision on tire. Oscar Piastri, rear end damage, and also he was not in the same league with his colleague, that's Lando Norris. He was not in the same league today at all. He was far off in pace from Lando Norris, but a decent race for him. He started 5th, he ended 8th. Lewis Hamilton, great race with that W15. He was only able to overtake the cars he was meant to overtake. Yes, he was able to overtake the cars he was meant to overtake. And which cars are these cars he is meant to overtake? RB, Haas, Alpine, Williams, and Sauber. A decent job for him, coming from 18th to 9th. They cannot fight the guys at the top 100%. They can't fight the guys at the top, but he was able to get closer to Piastri. Closer, but if he had even nicked Piastri, he cannot fight the Aston Martin. He cannot. He's paced off the Aston Martin. So it's just a good race for Lewis Hamilton. Bad car for Lewis Hamilton. No claps for him, because those are the cars he's meant to overtake. What else should he do if he's not overtaking Haas? If he's not overtaking Alpine, which is the worst car on the grid. So for now, good race, bad car for him. Yeah. To Nico Hülkenberg, a good race, nicking out the point. Good race for him. And if not for the engine damage on Bottas' car, Bottas was doing well. He could have ended in point, but bad luck for somebody, good luck for another driver. And good luck for Nico Hülkenberg. Great race, great drive for him. Ocon, Albon, Gasly, Zhou Guanyu, Magnussen, Stroll, and Logan Sargent, they did their race, struggled. But to Zhou Guanyu, wow. Ending 14th, wow. I'll say it again, wow. I think he gave it all he could in his home race, making the Chinese proud. The first Chinese in a Grand Prix, especially in his homeland. That is great. The emotions was too much. 1.3 billion people supporting him. And at the end of the race, he was crying. They even gave him a special parking spot on the track. That is masterful. As in, for me, he did a good job. The pressure was on him, but he didn't allow the pressure to soak him. He didn't come out in points, but he gave a good drive, a good account of himself. This is a place in which no driver had come out from, and giving such a good performance. That is great. And that is what I'm talking about, us as Nigerians, as Africans, as Nigerians, especially West Africans. We don't have any driver coming out of us, and we have some few people running outside, taking themselves outside the country to go and train. We are not helping them. Zhou Guanyu with his family left his hometown at the age of 12, went to Sheffield to train as a karting driver, coming back in 2024 to race for the first time in his homeland. With such appreciation, you would have known they've supported him all through his career. And seeing him do such a performance, I don't expect him to win. Not even in the car he is, I don't expect him to win. But what he has done for his country, what he has done is marvelous. And what his country had given him is wonderful. For the China Grand Prix, 20 years and a driver from China racing on that track is marvelous. These are things I believe we should emulate as a country, as a people. We should stop blocking our own great people. I'm not saying the drivers we are training now that have taken their time to leave the country to go and train are going to race, but they are going to inspire people that will race. They are going to inspire the next generation. They are going to inspire people that will make. I don't talk about that for now, but it's a great thing for Zhou Guanyu, and I really appreciate what he has achieved in his life, and that is great for him. Now, going to Daniel Ricciardo, a great race for him, a good weekend for him, which shows that his complaint about the chassis, I think, is genuine. In the next 2-3 races, we will see how he fares, but this weekend, he had been on point. He had been about 5/10 or more ahead of his teammate in race pace, in qualifying, and which is showing or leading us to what Daniel Ricciardo has said about his chassis, that his chassis had not been good, and that chassis might have been compromised. But coming with a new chassis, I think he's doing well. Now, in Lewis Hamilton's chat with Bono on the team radio, he admitted before the race that it was his fault, in which it's a great thing for you to admit you made a mistake, and it's a great thing for you to know where the mistake is coming from. It's a great thing that Lewis Hamilton admitted that it was his fault. He lost out 5/10 in qualifying yesterday, and it was a great thing that he also admitted that the setup he made gave him that, because he was unable to stop the car on turn 14 where he lost 5/10. So we hope Mercedes will stop experimenting with Lewis Hamilton's car and George Russell's car, because every time they experiment with Lewis Hamilton's car and George Russell's car, Lewis Hamilton gets the brunt and the bunt of it. George Russell get the best from it. At this stage of the championship, the Mercedes have not gotten right their floor and their rear, which we know, which I've been saying and I've been shouting that is where the problem is. They should not make their drivers suffer it. It is their fault. They own the fault. They should suffer it. Why should they allow their drivers to suffer their own mistake? They designed the car. They should bring a good car. Look at what RB did. They designed a new car and they brought a new car that is even faster, that is delivering in the hands of Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. While Mercedes have brought a bad car that is not delivering and setting their drivers in a wrong position and making their drivers feel bad. What a bad car for Mercedes. What a bad technology. Since 2022, they've been seeing and they've been harnessing aerodynamic, everything in simulation that they cannot bring on track. For me, why not just bring your simulators on track? Because you guys are losing. Bring your simulators on track. That I think Mercedes should do, because you can't be telling us you're having 70 points there, 100 points there, 90 points, where are just 34 points in the constructors. So, Mercedes need to sort themselves out, really sort themselves out, because it looks shitty for them. Like I said, solid race from Charles Leclerc. They are still bringing upgrades in Imola. That's 2 races from now, and we hope it takes them ahead, and it will be great for them. To Lando Norris, MVP, driver of the day, came second. Great race. And I can tell you they did a good job. And Piastri needs to work on himself, work on his driving, and I think that would happen for him as he grows. He's still young, he's still new, and I believe he can do a great thing and a good job where he is. And for Audi team, Hunting, Hulkenberg, Bottas and Sainz, we learned they have a big check for Sainz. Let's see what happens. But China Grand Prix, great action, great race, but at the top, there were no great races. Max Verstappen leading, lonely at the top, getting great and doing great things. Perfectly right for him. I don't envy him because he's doing a great race. And also, great for the Red Bull. And we hope others are able to bring upgrades that we can watch a tight battle. I think towards the end of the season, it will be tighter. If Mercedes are thinking of winning a race this season... Let me say that again. If Mercedes are thinking of winning a race this season or coming close to 3rd or 4th this season, they might be 4th or 5th, but coming close to 3rd this season, I don't see them getting ahead of McLaren and Ferrari. They are saying McLaren did it last year, but they keep improving. So we don't know what you are going to do, and whatever you are doing, another team is bringing an upgrade that will be better. So Mercedes should not even dream about it. It's a bad season already for them. It's maybe a worst season for them, and I think they need to do a good job. They need to look inward and get ahead of them. These 5 races into the season, nothing to show for it, but excuses, complaints, setup changes, guessing, and a whole lot more. Mercedes, I think, need to do a good job, because this is becoming shameful. Up onto the next one, there are lots of shots that will be coming up, and there will be another analysis that will make. Mercedes bringing upgrade in Miami, like I said. Let's see how it goes. Miami is another beast of a track on its own, with so many slow speed corners. In their slow speed corner, Mercedes are having low traction, understeer. The car is even difficult to turn. Let's see what they bring. Let's see what they bring. But up until then, I love you guys. Thank you. Bye. Chi.